Heyo, OmniDogs and OmniKittens. It's OmniDog. Welcome to OmniDog's Vault with my special guest, Faria. Faria, how are you today?
I'm doing excellent. How are you, Jess?
So far, so good. I'm really good because I've been wanting to start this Annihilation read through for a long time, for like years now. And you've already read it. You also have it.
Yeah. We're showing off our whales, as you do. Look at us. We're the chosen ones.
Woo! Yeah, we got it. Tyler Blunt just scored one, I think.
Oh, nice.
At like a Second and Charles or something. I think it was. Now that we're talking about, I don't think it was Half Price Books. Maybe it was an Ollie's. I think it was Ollie's.
Was he joking when he said that? I feel like
no, he got it for like $70.
Show us your receipts, Tyler. We don't believe you. We don't believe you.
That's fair. So yeah, I've been wanting to read the Annihilation Conquest, Road to War of Kings. Wait, Prelude to Road to War of Kings, War of Kings, and then War of Kings Aftermath, Realm of Kings. So those are the books that I've been wanting to read. And now, have you read all of those?
No. So it's going to be interesting because I only got this when I first started collecting back in like 2015.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea how out of print it was. I got this from Half Price Book, and I think I paid $120 after a coupon I used.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a little bit beaten up, but I wasn't a snob at that time. Like, I wasn't a collector snob at that time. I didn't care so much for this beaten upness. And I actually got it because I watched the Guardians of the Galaxy movie. I was actually late to that party of the watching Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't know why. But then I watched it. Then I was looking up books to read with them. This showed up. Now, as we are reading it, we're going to talk about how not Guardians of the Galaxy this is.
Yeah.
And so then I read it. So, and that's when, back in 2015, I read it. So it's been 4 years. And one of the things that is going to happen today, you're going to quiz me to see how much I remember. So I actually read and stopped there because the rest of the books were not coming out, or the plan was that they're coming out. So I was just kind of waiting for them. Then they came out and then all went out of print, I think now. And I still haven't read them. So then we were chatting and I'm like, well, how about we do this? Because it's on my list to read it this year. How about we kind of do this review thing? And here we are. So yes, so I have read Annihilation 4 years ago. And today you're going to quiz me on this.
And I just finished it this morning, so.
Oh, okay. Even better. So yes, so it's going to be a fun thing. Let's see.
Do you remember the one Guardian of the Galaxy that is in Annihilation?
No, I think there's three of them are there. Just Rocket and.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Now I just finished it and already you're correcting me.
No, but yeah.
Name the ones that are not there.
Rocket and Groot are not there. And I think they're not Guardians of the Galaxy at this point, because I think they became Guardians of the Galaxy later because of the movie's popularity, and there was a lot of things going on with that. So yeah, so this was kind of a very, this is not what I asked for. There was a lot of that as well, but I remember really enjoying it and really becoming one of those, I was like, whoa, and everything that was happening, I was like, whoa. And one thing very, very good about this, though, is they add those profiles of different characters.
Right, like this.
Yes.
Here's one of the Nova Corps.
Yeah.
And that tells you that, because that's really important. They throw a lot of characters at you in this book that you're not necessarily familiar with, because these are all cosmic characters, and there's no Spider-Man or Thor or anything like that. It's all going to be Thanos, Annihilus, and fortunately, there's these sort of information posts from the World Mind database from NovaCore, and then also in the back of the book, there's a ton of them, a ton of things that talk about every single character. So that's what helped me enjoy this book a little more, is that I was able to read all these things, because the last time I talked about it, I said I wasn't into it. That was probably Thursday with Omar.
Right.
And since then, I was about halfway through it then, and then I finished it this morning. And because of reading all of these, it's helped me sort it out more, and I've started to enjoy it more. One thing that let's see, what can I quiz you on? Because I've already quizzed you on one thing and I failed, and you knew it better than I did.
So here's the thing, though, because I wanted to kind of bring it up. It's been 4 years since I read it, and I remember a lot of it because I was kind of flipping through it, and then I was like, oh yeah, I remember this, and then I remember this, so I was just kind of like passing by. Versus, let's say that I have no memory of Bendis's Daredevil.
Oh, really?
I remember reading it. I remember liking it. I remember he was Counselor Sad-a-Lot, but I have no memory of what happened in it. And that was like 2 years ago. Versus this was like 4 years ago. And if you ask me what happened in it, I think I will 75% be able to tell you what happened. 75, not all.
Okay. First, let me answer Justice 538 says, I see the book on eBay for $300. Is that a good price? I say my opinion is no, that I believe there's complete collections out now of Annihilation. I would just get those. I would not overpay for a hardcover that could get reprinted. $300 seems like an awful lot of money to me for a book. I know it's easy for me to say because I got this back when it first came out, but I think I'd just get the complete collections if I were you, Justice 538.
So just make sure that one thing is that if the complete collection has those files, those profiles.
Oh yeah, you've got to have those.
Yeah, then get it. But even if they don't, I'm pretty sure you can find the PDF versions of those files. Like, it's not just like if you do an image search or something, you can find those. You can read it through there. One of the other things that they're doing, that the Nova parts of it are actually collected separately. Like there's like 4 chunky books of Nova that's part of this, and then also part of those omnibuses. So you can actually piece it together.
Oh, okay. They're printing Annihilation. I see. So it's not like this only in paperback form. It's Annihilation separately and the Nova Core stuff separately.
I think so. I want to say that because the thing is, like, there's only 2 trades paperbacks, and I am not sure if it includes everything because it would have to be a little bit chunkier. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but I know that for a fact that the Abnett's Nova, like what's like throughout this whole run is actually collected in 4 chunky paperbacks. So that's an option, and I'm pretty sure this Annihilation will be reprinted.
You think so, huh?
I think so because now they're doing like Aftermath, or sorry, Infinity Wars, or whatever the current cosmic sagas going on. So I'm pretty sure that once this is done, they're probably going to try to reprint that and then kind of print the omnibus along with it. I don't know. They always reprint everything in 10 years increment, it seems like. So I'm pretty sure it's going to come sometimes along the line.
Okay, you're right. I'm looking on Amazon, and it does look like it's a lot of Annihilation stuff. It does say Annihilation, the Nova Core files.
Okay, so the files are there.
So the files are there in book 2. That would be, it's practically a book in itself. These these are in the back of the book. These Annihilation Nova Corps files, which are so key to enjoyment of the book. So let me ask you this. Let me see how I can word this. What part, what's special about, what's special about Galactus in this book?
Okay, so one thing though, are we spoiling? So we're going to...
I don't think we need to spoil. This is something about Galactus I didn't know. Maybe I'm not asking the right way.
I know what you're talking about. Like he has two siblings.
Yeah, and plus all his heralds that I didn't know about.
Right.
Past heralds figure into this. Yeah, here's some of his, gosh, the way I'm treating this book, you wouldn't know it's a very expensive book. But yeah, here are a couple of his people that he's related to as far as godhood goes. And he locked them up in the kiln that got ripped apart by the Annihilus wave, right?
Right.
That's that prison that they were locked up in.
Right. So the thing is that the story kind of follows that this creature, that this hordes of thing is just kind of passing through the entire, universe / galaxy or multiverse, whatever you call it. And then as they're going through each thing, and they're pretty much just tearing everything apart in their way. There is no stopping it. And so as they're going through, what happens throughout the run, that all of the past stuff that has been buried for different reasons has been opening. It's like opening up and then people are coming back, or beings are coming back who were locked up for one reason or another. And now all of a sudden there's like too many players in the game, and everyone is trying to kind of get to, trying to protect themselves. And ultimately, I think they found out that it's heading towards Earth, because as all things do.
Right.
So Nova decides to kind of get together with some people and then protect Earth. Am I right so far?
Yeah, and Annihilus, Galactus's heralds play a big role in this, as they are aligning on the side of being against Annihilus. And there's a bunch besides Silver Surfer. There's here's the Galactus with Surfer and with the two powerful beings that he's locked away that we're sort of calling his siblings. And it's let's see. They call Galactus the Devourer. They do say others of our brethren. So, and let me go to the file and see if I can come up with these guys' names. That's how important these files are. Galactus, Gamora. Oh, it's all alphabetical. No wonder.
Oh, wow.
Now I see why it wasn't in order of importance. That's why it's like that. I'm a little slow. Sorry. Ravenous, freaking Redshift, Screed, Silver Surfer, Stardust. Okay, I'm not coming up when I really need to come up with it.
So as you're looking for the names, I just kind of wanted to show you this fan art I had one of the artists commission.
Oh, okay.
After reading Annihilation, I'm going to butcher this name, by the way. So you guys
Annihilation?
Annihilation.
Or Annihilus?
My brain can transfer it. I can see the words, but as I'm saying it, it's like that doesn't sound right. So you guys better get used to that. But anyway, so I actually had them. I don't know if you can see it. but it's actually up there on the wall, so I can't get to it. I had one of the artists kind of draw Galactus with his 7 heralds, and then and I actually had no idea that he had that many. I always thought it was only the Silver Surfer dude.
That's what I thought too.
But now, like, you know, the universe just expanded because there was like way too many of them, and it's kind of, they pretty much just hot potato this role, and apparently it's kind of done in like a commission based, like it's like you or like a contract based. You come and do it for 2 years, then you have eternity of bonus or something. So that was kind of like a little bit eye-opening. But what I really enjoyed it though is that Thanos and Galactus gets into this whole thing, because that's when I actually finally realized that how crazy Thanos is and how important he's going to be in the MCU world. Because in it, Thanos actually used Galactus as a battery.
Yeah.
He pretty much just captures him and then just take him to his like bottom of his ship and just like and then pretty much just do a mic drop on it, and then it's just like, you know, it's like, oh yeah, that guy, he's now my battery. I laughed so hard at that when that that happened. It was just, oh my god, so good. But anyway.
Yeah, it's Aegis and Tenebrous that are these beings that were trapped in the kiln jail on the edge of the universe where all the crush energy is, and Annihilus passes through and destroys this prison, and these beings are let out with a lot of other ones by Annihilus and his horde, and so there's a lot of extra powerful beings in there in the universe all of a sudden. And so that's one thing that sort of threw me, was that it's a ton of people in this book that I don't know, that this is my introduction to him. And then I just saw Katsudan, who's a viewer of OmniBros in my channel, said that this book, Annihilation, is basically the introduction of a bunch of these characters. So,
like they were created for this. They didn't exist before this. Right.
So that helped ease some of my anxiety about, you know, gosh, I don't even recognize this person. Who's this? Who's that? Well, there's a reason for it. This is where they were introduced, and just relax, just take it down a notch. This is where they're introduced, and this is their story, and this is how you get to know them. This is the beginning of the story, not the middle, but the beginning. So this is how I talk to myself, just, you know, when nobody's around.
Right. No, I mean, you kind of have to, because, you know, I kind of took it as like, I was under the impression that when I first started reading it, and by the way, at that time, I wasn't reading a lot of comics. Like, this was one of the first ones I was doing. So I had general knowledge of some of them. And before then, I only read Ultimate Marvel. So this was like my first main continuity Marvel to begin with. So I kind of knew a lot of these people, but then a lot of the times, like, who is this? Where does this person come from?
Yeah.
What's happening right now? But then reading those profiles and then just kind of be like, oh, yeah, this is like the first time they appeared to begin with. You're kind of get used to it. One of the MVP for me in this was Cammi, the artly the little girl from the world, who was like just pretty much just being like you know, whipping sapping the whole time, and then just decided to just leave Earth with Drax.
With Drax, yeah. I'm still sort of trying to figure out what her purpose is. She's just sort of a hitchhiker in this cosmic galaxy type thing.
I thought she was mostly to do with, like, you know, the audience point of view, like, you know, just because she was like always like, oh, this is so dumb.
Oh, to humanize it, sort of.
I think so, because, you know, she's like the only, and because people were just explaining things to her, so she kind of became like a exposition vessel.
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
Like I thought that was kind of like, you know, where she started, but I just kind of liked her that from the very beginning she was like, whatever, like she's from a very small town, and
Yeah,
like
like
she
here
doesn't,
she is,
yeah,
right
she doesn't
here.
have much going on, and then she just
She latches onto Drax for some reason.
yeah, but you know, she just decided that, you know, I'm just gonna leave my small town and then go on a intergalactic journey, because I often kind of connect to these kids, like, you know, these kind of characters or kids, like, you know, most of the time it's because like I feel like I would do the same thing, like
Yeah,
you know,
except you don't like teenagers.
I know I don't like teenagers, but the thing is like if like, you know, a Drax just kind of shows up, like if something similar thing happened around me, I'd be like, yeah, let's leave all of this. I'm just gonna do a space travel. Like I'm just gonna do this. So I kind of connected to her because of that. And
Okay.
at that time, I could actually stand. I was younger, so 4 years ago, I was a little younger, and I could stand teenagers. But within this 4 years, I just had that on my thumb. So something happened between this. But anyway,
So do you remember what happened to the Nova Corps homeworld?
so they get destroyed. The
Right.
whole world gets destroyed because that was one of the first thing that happens. Like Annihilus just comes through and destroys, because they are pretty much the first defense. So in order for that story to happen, they needed
Right.
to go away, and
Yeah.
they get destroyed. And then World Mind, what's
World Mind, yeah, the
World Mind
database.
computer, which is kind of giving you all the information,
Right.
gets settled into Nova's head, like in the helmet.
Right.
Right? And then throughout the time, right? Like, you know, she's kind of giving orders or like where to go and those kind of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that happens.
Here's Nova with Quasar, who Quasar plays a big part in this too.
Right. So what's the story of Quasar though? Is he like who is he? Where is he from? Is he from Infinity, like, you know, Jim Starling run, or this was his original appearance?
I believe, and the people in the chat can correct me, Quasar existed before this. Let's see. Now I'm looking for him in the A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, P, Q, R. Quasar. There's Quasar. Citizen of Earth, originating in the Milky Way galaxy. Apparently, oh, I don't want to say that because that might spoil what happens in this. Yeah, it looks like he was. He gets power bands. The ancient quantum band. He gets quantum bands, and he was with Shield. And first he's Marvel Boy, then Marvel Man, and now Quasar. So yeah, he's been around for a while.
Okay. Well, good for him. I didn't remember him that much, so it kind of tells you that how important he was to me.
Right. Well, I didn't have many dealings with him either.
Right.
So I don't know that he's been, you know, like a Star-Lord type level popular character or not.
Right. For some reason, I actually thought that was Sentry, but that's not Sentry.
Oh yeah, Sentry and Quasar. I can see how you could mix them both up.
Yeah, because they all look like, you know, hunky blonde men, like, you know, with the glowy eyes. Like it's kind of hard to differentiate between them, like with the same number of abs.
Right.
I just say
exactly.
Like, you know, it's kind of hard to. But yeah, I thought that was the case because later on when I read like a World War Hulk, that's when Sentry shows up there. I'm like, oh, it's that guy. But then I'm like, no, it's not. Then, you know, so anyway. But the other guy that I remember so well from this, and I was kind of sad that they totally butchered his character in the movies, Ronan the Conqueror.
Oh, yeah.
Like, Ronan plays a very interesting role here, and also in Hickman's Avengers, and like Hickman's Fantastic Four, which we both of us read. And he's actually a very interesting character. Like that has like a very like he has his own agency. He's not like some Thanos puppet.
Right.
He, like,
Here's
goes around
Ronan. Ronan the
does a lot of
Accuser.
he kind of goes around and does a lot of like very like things that were very interesting. I'm just keep on saying interesting as if it was doing something, but like, and he in the movie he was such an idiot.
Yeah, they really. I didn't know about Ronan before the movie, so I just accepted him at face value. And now I'm reading all this stuff afterwards, and they really did turn his character into something completely different than what was written. I don't remember reading that much fan backlash at the time, but I'm just going to assume that there must have been a lot of fan backlash.
Well, I guess like because they still kept him white, so you wouldn't hear any fan backlash. Like it's like he was still a white person, so don't worry about it. Or blue person, you know what I mean?
Even backlash. But his actions were completely different.
Right, and the thing is, well, he is going to be in the Captain Marvel movie though, played by Lee Pace as well. So I don't know, maybe they will redeem him somehow.
Yeah, because it doesn't square with everything I've been reading about him. I read a few other books before I started Annihilation. I read The Infinity Abyss, and Marvel Universe The End, and then Thanos Redemption, which did inform me a little bit about things going on in Annihilation. So if you want to read some of those books, those are good. Thanos Redemption's way out of print, but I think that's it's worth reading that maybe on Comixology or something if you want to read that about Thanos trying to be a good guy, and it leads directly into Annihilation where he flips and starts very quickly. Yeah, he doesn't give that good guy thing a chance for very long. He inherits a chaos sprite, and she's flitting around. And she's in this Annihilation book also, and he's up to something because he aligns himself with Annihilus, and he's up to something, but we don't know what it is yet.
Right. So, and knowing Thanos is probably not good. Nothing very good. But I just kind of loved him in it because so much. Because before that, I was like, oh, okay, so why are we bothered about him showing up in MCU? Well, now we know. Now that, Infinity War and everything happened, we kind of know.
Right.
But at that time, I was like, oh, what's wrong with him? And then he was just kind of walking up and down in the Hall Bridge and then kind of doing like a, flipping everyone off and then just making deals and then turning around making a different deals. And then when it's finally revealed he has Galactus as his battery, I'm like, I'm sold. This guy is crazy. He was super fun to read in this one. And yeah, and Annihilation, it doesn't tell you where he's going with this. So I'm pretty sure it's going to be in the next ones that you find out.
I don't know if you're following the chat at all, but you might want to take Nash Villains up on this. That's Raph.
Mm-hmm.
He says Thanos Redemption, and he'd be happy to pick one up for you.
Oh, nice! Yeah.
That's a really hard to find book. That's and it's really good too.
Okay.
It's a really good book. It's really hard to find. If he can hook you up, then I would definitely take advantage of that.
Yeah, I mean, just Facebook message me and we'll chat about it. Just let me know the total amount and everything if you can.
Thanks, buddy.
That's amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, it really is.
So, the other person, but I think though the movie done a better job with Gamora.
Right. Yeah, I feel. Yeah.
So I don't, because the thing is, I read Memento Mori, which was actually directly from the movie, written by the movie scriptwriter Nicole Perlman, and that was pretty much how between Infinity War, the flashback from Infinity War to first Guardians of the Galaxy, it kind of shows their relationship from that point of view. Here it's a different Gamora, because there was no mention of her being his daughter or anything to do with that. It was, I don't know, it was very different. So I don't know what happened in Marvel continuity to kind of change her, because I think they just, now she's more like the movie.
Right.
But at that time, it was like, I was not kind of getting heads or tail. And I was already like her getup and everything, the costume and everything. I was like, oh my God. But she was not, I didn't felt like she was a very, you know, she like the movie version was definitely an upgrade.
Yeah. Speaking of her costume, here's her costume as she's going into battle.
Right.
Right there with Ronan.
Very, very practical.
Yeah.
Like I really want to know what this, you know, special space tape that these ladies are using, because my God.
Space tape? Yeah.
Yeah, like, you know, oh my God. Like, how is, like, you're gonna be bruised within like a second. Please, ladies. But anyway, like, look at the difference between them. Look at what Ronan's wearing.
Yeah. He's got robes and battle armor and a mask. And
yeah, move it up a little bit, because in the second,
okay.
yeah, look at that. Look at that. Look at
right there.
Yeah, look at the difference between them. Yeah. Oh my God. I can't deal with this. I just can't.
See, I've been reading comics for so long that I've become desensitized to that, and I just accept it as I don't even pay attention to it. It's just like that's the way they're drawn, and I just accept it. I think that's interesting that you come at it from a different, more practical standpoint. When you think about it, yeah, that is ridiculous. But they've been drawn that way for so long,
right?
For me, that I don't even question it.
And you know what? If they're going to a party, or if they're like, you know, sitting in their throne or something, go ahead, draw like that, no problem. But come on, they're going in a battle.
She's practically wearing lingerie here. I mean,
come on. Like, she'll be out of commission in a second. Do you know how much it hurts if your butt gets scrapped? Jeez. Like, you know, it's not that I know how much it hurts. My butt never gets scrapped because I wear appropriate clothes for the appropriate occasion. Jeez. But anyway. The other character that I remembered so well, and because of this one thing, Super-Skrull.
I was just going to talk about him because I had just turned to a couple pages with Super-Skrull, who apparently has the powers of the entire Fantastic Four in this book.
Right. So, and he was created by the Skrulls to kind of like, you know.
Yeah, there's a picture of Super-Skrull right there.
Fight Fantastic Fours, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think that was a point. But I just loved that he gets a sidekick who is like a mechanic, like, you know, a nobody Skrull. Because Skrulls are supposed to be like a warrior, like, you know, they're very military, they're very like, you know, military oriented. Yeah, that kid.
Yeah, this guy right here,
so he's
kid
like
mechanic.
Kid, and he's like, you know, he's very like, he's not a warrior type at all. So he's like, you know, kind of shunned in the society and everything. So he's doing like a mechanics related stuff. Something happens. He betrays them, and then he actually, like, you know, when he finds out that he's the one who betrays them, he's like, asks for forgiveness and stuff. He's like, oh, don't worry. You know, I'm not going to kill you because you helped me, but I'm going to make sure you never, like, you know, work on another flight, like another spaceship again. And then the next panel, they show that he actually amputates him, both his arms and legs.
Oh, and yeah, that's right.
He wasn't even that old, but that's when you were like, whoa, shit. Like, that was ingrained in me. Anytime someone gets amputated, whoever doing the amputation, I would always remember them. And this was like one of those cases. I was like, whoa, I did not.
Yeah, here, this is a picture of it right
here.
Here.
Right.
Poor guy.
Like, it was like, ah.
Yeah.
And then he has says, like, don't worry, I'm not gonna kill you. Like, you know, like, I think he makes a promise that he's not gonna kill him or something. But then he just kind of does this weird thing, and then he becomes a good person. Like, you know, he just joins the good guys.
Yeah, he joins the good side of the fight.
Yeah, he's like, well, I think, like, you know, when Annihilus is coming, everyone kind of joins one side, and they're like, yeah, we're just gonna do this.
And here's some Nebula, who they don't.
Oh, yeah,
Nebula's in this
Nebula
too.
from this one, so you have to refresh my memory on her. What was she up to over here?
She's battling with Ronan the same way, but she's very much that I recall. She makes mostly a little bit of a guest appearance. It's not a major thing. It looks like there's a bunch of fights with Ronan, and she's one of them.
Okay.
And she gets dispatched fairly quickly. Although here she is still with a meeting of. Actually, this art is really good. I really like this art. Nebula's here with some other women, alien women, and Gamora. This art's really cool. I'm gonna see if I can figure out who is doing it. Unless somebody, Jess, you need to talk when showing the pics so the camera stays on you. Okay. So here's what I'm talking about right now. This is what I'm talking about. This art right here, so the camera stays on me. I can also press the screen so that it stays on me. But yeah, I get what you're saying. I'll flash cactus. I'll make sure that I focus on me when I'm holding something up. But let me see who this artist is, because there's some really good art in this book. There's some average art, but then there's some really good art too.
I think it's
Annihilation Ronan #2. Let's
Jorge
see.
Lucas. Jorge Lucas? I don't know who that is. I don't know any of the artists from this, by the way. Like,
oh, Jorge Lucas, right.
But I don't, like, other than Kit Giffen, who is pretty much the only person I recognize, and Dan Abnett and Andy Lanning. I don't recognize anyone else from here. Like, I don't know what else they worked on, or what was their thing. Like, I don't think they're active much anymore, I think. But anyway.
So to me, the biggest revelation, I don't know, I'll ask you what yours was, but to me, the biggest revelation was all the past Heralds and their ability. Oh, here's where Thanos is using. Here's where Thanos is using Galactus as his battery of his ship right there. Right there. There's somehow he got strapped on there. Let me press myself here.
Like, that still cracks me up so much.
Yeah, there he is right there.
When the reveal happens, you're like, whoa.
Yeah, I'm sometimes I just wonder just how powerful really is Thanos, that he can take Galactus, whose heralds are wield the power cosmic that Annihilus wants so badly. And I mean, if Thanos can take Galactus and turn him into a battery for his ship, just how powerful is this guy in this story?
And so I think, like, you know, that's kind of, I really enjoy that, though. Like, you know, that the fact that the most powerful being in a certain storyline is not the person that you think it is. It's not someone with a brute force. It's mostly the one with the brain.
Right.
And Thanos, in all his madness, is actually more threatening than Galactus. Like, to me, that was the biggest revelation. Like, you know, that was like, to me, I was like, okay, because I knew about Galactus from, like, other, like, you know, it's just like he's like more of a known entity. Like, you know, Thanos, on the other hand, was not. And to me, the fact that this purple guy, you know, or purple or whatever his color is, this mad guy can actually take this other bigger guy and use him as a battery and as if no problem at all. That's significantly more threatening than anything else that's showing up. Like, he didn't care for Annihilus. He didn't care for Galactus. He had a way out of every one of them. Like, that makes him way more, like, threatening for me. And that was, like, one of my bigger revelation than anything.
Yeah, he is a bit purpley still.
Well, now, I mean, whatever his color is now.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, there's Galactus still being a battery for his ship.
right.
So I think that the revelations for me were the power cosmic that the Heralds, and that there were so many past Heralds running around the universe and how powerful they were. I hope that there's more of them, that we learn more about them, because it's not just Silver Surfer. There was like 7 Heralds.
There's one called Firebrand or Firestar. It's one of them. And then
Stardust is one.
Right. There's like a whole bunch of them.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of them, and I thought that was really interesting. So I hope that we see more of that in Conquest and the future stuff, because that's what I found the most interesting. I found the little Chaos Mite. She was kind of annoying, but also interesting at the same time with Thanos. And Annihilus, I thought, was a little bit of a one-dimensional character, so I'm glad everybody else was really interesting.
Right.
Because I think Annihilus we don't really know. Well, we get his motivation. He feels like the known universe is encroaching in on the negative space, and so he's trying to take back more space, which he thinks is rightfully his. And he brings in his whole squadron of allies. But Annihilus was a bit one-dimensional, so I liked the other, especially Thanos, who we don't know what his motivations are, and Galactus, who seems to be either super powerful or Thanos can totally kick his ass. It's a little bit of both, so I like that.
Right. And the thing is, like, I think, like, it has a very good dynamic. Like, that's why it's really memorable, and it's actually good in the sense that you'd think Annihilus will be the ultimate bad guy, but he's not. Like, he's being constantly manipulated by Thanos in left, right, and center. Like, and he has like one-track mind of doing this one thing that he wants to do, but it's definitely not going to be his way. And I think Thanos knows too that he has an ambitious project that's not going to happen, so he's just using it in order to get to whatever he is that he wants.
Right. And here we see Thanos being very purple in a fight with Drax, and I won't say what happens here because it's shocking. There is something shocking that happens.
Right.
But I can't tell you about it because then it'll wreck it for you. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, like, I don't remember how it ends, though. Because I remember they get together. Star-Lord finally shows up. And this is also not the Star-Lord that we know from the movie.
Right.
I feel like Richard Rider was more of a Star-Lord in it than Star-Lord himself was.
Right.
And then they fought Annihilus, but I think they're semi-successful. They were mostly going into the other direction of just trying to evacuate some of the worlds that are in their path. And then there was a meeting with Tony Stark that Nova has to warn him.
In this book?
It's either in this book or...
I don't remember seeing Tony Stark in this. Of course, I was reading it at 4 a.m. this morning.
So see, I'm already probably mixing it up with something else.
Well, maybe not. Maybe I just wasn't. Here's a good picture of one of Galactus's heralds. These guys are all big badasses.
They really jived with you, didn't it?
They what?
They really jived with you.
Yeah. Here's another one, Stardust. They pretty much have fought Annihilus to a standstill in this, and then they tie up some loose ends with the Galactus relatives or supreme beings that have powers similar to Galactus's that escaped, and the Heralds are the ones that fight them in this panel, these panels.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how it ends, really, with Silver Surfer going after the ones that were spawned when Galactus was first born. They were born also.
Right.
So that's how it ends. That's how Annihilation ends, and I'm not spoiling anything because that just is how it ends. There's all kinds of other living and dying and stuff that goes on throughout this, but Annihilus is kind of used just as kind of a way to just move the story along in this. I don't even think he's that, besides the fact that he destroys Nova Corps, there's a lot more interesting things that happen in this besides Annihilus, to me anyway.
Right. Yeah, I don't know why I thought that was a thing that happened, because I feel like Nova at one point goes to Tony Stark and warns him that, hey, this thing is coming.
ETL, we're talking about Annihilation, and Rick Nelson is saying it's when Nova is on Earth and Tony Stark is in charge of S.H.I.E.L.D. Okay, it was a warning, or more like, I've got more important things to do than deal with your... Oh, that's right. Then deal with your civil war here on Earth, then Nova leaves Earth. Right. That's right, Rick Nelson.
See? I remember this shit. So either it happened in Civil War or it happened here. But at one point, someone tried to warn someone that, hey, this is coming. Like, they tried to warn Tony Stark, and because Tony Stark is such a dumbass, he didn't realize that. I hate, by the way, this is completely off tangent. I hate Civil War with
Civil War 2 or Civil War 1? The original Civil War?
Both of them.
Oh.
The story, not the real American Civil War. That's not the point. The Marvel event, both of them, so much. It's not even, I hate them so, both of them, because they turn otherwise kind of sort of rational people into complete, utter, moronic dumbasses. Then you are like, what the F? I wanted to say that actually, if you come to Fangirls Assemble, you're going to see me flourish my curse word without any restraint, but I'm a guest, so I'm trying.
Thank you. But
those two events, what was that? What were they? Oh my God. It was so bad. I cannot, after that, anything with Tony Stark, I'm like, I don't care for you. I don't. And now with Carol Danvers as well. Such dumbasses. Oh my God.
Oh, you have that feeling about Carol Danvers now?
Oh yeah.
Because of Civil War 2?
Yeah. She was like a moron in that. She was, and you know what? I'm all for equal opportunity morons. So yeah, ladies can be morons too. And she was like a mega moron in that one. A mega moron. Oh my God. I can't even.
Okay, anyway. Rick Nelson saying it's Super-Skrull that needs Reed's device to get to the negative zone, so he tells Reed Richards about Annihilation Wave. So there's a lot going on in these books. It's a good thing I've got you and the viewers to help me keep it all straight, because even though I just got done reading it, I do... some of it runs together for me, especially since some of these characters are not characters that I'm familiar with.
Yeah, because I remember that Super-Skrull because there's only two places to get to negative zone. One was destroyed by Annihilus in Nova World, I think. I think it's there or somewhere else. And the other one, Reed Richards have it.
Right.
So that's why Super-Skrull actually goes there. And they're like, oh, I'm not going to fight you guys because now we need to get this. And I don't think he gets it, but something happens. But anyway, so you initially, so you were saying that now you were kind of liking it a little bit more.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to reading Annihilation Conquest now. It's now that I know this is just the beginning and it's their introduction, and it's more than just Annihilus and his wave. There's a lot more interesting characters than that, so I found it to be a lot more interesting. I mean, if I had to give it a numeric grade, I guess I'd give it a 7 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
As far as this, as far as an omnibus goes, this, and it was leaning at 5 out of 10 for me on Thursday. So it's good that I kept reading because it got better as I kept reading.
But the thing is, like, I feel like where you were feeling it 5 out of 10, that's where it kind of gets slow. Like, you know, it's it becomes like, you know, a lot of things happen and then a lot of things happen again. So I can totally understand that. So I would initially have given it a 7.5. I think I did give it a 7.5. Sorry, 7 out of 10 before. But the fact that I remember it, like a lot of the information kind of kept with me and I remember it so well. Because I remember being entertained by it at that time. And I still, like, you know, looking back at it, like flipping through it, I was still kind of fondly remembering it. I'm going to give it a 9.9 out of 10. Because
it was so memorable.
Right. Because that's a good thing about a story. Like, you know, it has to be entertaining and memorable. Because here's the thing. I have no memory of Gotham Central. I have no memory of Daredevil by Bendis. I am kind of beginning to forget everything that happened in Fantastic Four by Hickman.
Oh.
Like, you know, but I do remember everything that happened in his Avengers run.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, like, I now feel like, given that I've been reading comic books for 4 years now, it's kind of like now I'm looking back some of the older things and kind of thinking, like, if it's good, like, if it's like only like good things were that memorable, so they should be rated a little bit higher, I feel.
Okay. I since it's your rating system, I think you get to do whatever you want.
Right.
And that's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
That it's memorable.
No, my rating is the only rating system. You are not allowed to have yours. It's mine. Like, you know, mine is the law for everyone.
Furia's law.
It's for everyone.
Joe Chip asks, OmniDog, are you also planning on reading The Guardians of the Galaxy and War of Kings after Annihilation Conquest? Yes, I believe Guardians of the Galaxy is in
the Annihilation. It is in the it's
Road to War of Kings.
The other three omnibus.
Yeah, it's in either Road to War of Kings, or Realm of Kings. But yeah, we're next month or this month, February, Free and I are gonna read Annihilation Conquest, and then the first Saturday in March we'll review that, and then we'll keep going with the War of Kings trilogy, War of Kings, Realm of Kings, Road to War of Realm of Kings, whatever. We're gonna read those, so we'll be done March, April, probably May, I guess.
And one of the important things though, those War of Kings and all of that, Hickman's Fantastic Four is either a direct or a concurrent sequel of that.
Okay, good.
Like, all the things that happens with Inhumans, it's kind of like, you know, you hear they've been going around and doing all of this thing, and then suddenly Black Bolt shows up with 5 wives and everything.
Oh yeah.
That happens in War of Kings.
Oh, okay, good.
So that's kind of happens concurrently. I think, like, I don't know, and that's something that, you know, I actually wanted to kind of see whether you want to do that, because after Conquest, should we read Secret Invasion? Like, should we read all the Secret Invasion and all the tie-ins? Because that's the next event that still involves Kree, Skrull, and I think that then transfers over to the War of Kings. It sets up the next. I don't know. Is that true? Can someone correct me?
Do you feel like we need to know? But Secret Invasion's more about the Skrulls on Earth, right?
Right.
And so, but and everything else takes place that we read in space.
But
So
the everything that happened in Earth leaves a power vacuum, which causes all the cosmic things to happen.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, but that's the thing. From my very brief, kind of looking through all of that, that's what it feels like. But someone can correct us whether it's going to, whether it makes sense or not.
After Conquest to read Secret Invasion?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We can we can ask the chat, or we can put it, we can ask like Riley. He knows all that stuff. Yeah, he would
know, or something. And I'll it's going to be, but yeah. So I'm actually planning on just reading it whole again, and then go to Conquest right after that.
Okay.
Kind of try without reading it full, and then see how much I retain, and then trying to go through all of that. But I feel like I remember all the important parts.
Yeah, it sounds like you do.
So I don't know. Yeah.
I think you'll be okay to go ahead and start Conquest.
Okay. I hear that it's more interesting, more entertaining. So I'm kind of really looking forward to it.
Good. Me too then.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you look at Annihilation as an introduction, then that's fine. I may go back and retroactively change my rating of it too. For right now, it's slightly above average, and certainly not worth $300.
Oh yeah. So here's also another thing I've actually kind of been thinking about. All the books that I've been reading that are super out of print, when you read them, it's not all that interesting. And
I know. Just because it's out of print doesn't mean they're good stories.
Huh? No, but that's what I'm saying. There's a reason they're out of print. Because they were not that good to begin with, so they didn't print enough. I don't know.
Blue G, we at the very beginning of the broadcast, somebody mentioned that's what Annihilation is going for on eBay, $300. So that's where we got the $300 figure. Neither one of us paid that, but that's where we got the figure from.
Yeah, I paid about $120, I think. I had to go and look for the receipt, and then say, because I'm pretty sure it came from a half price book after a coupon. And yeah, at that time I didn't know, and I was kind of like, yellow, and then I just bought it. So, yeah, but I'm glad I did. I mean, it was still undercover, but
yeah, you're right. $125 book.
I'm telling you, don't put money for any book more than cover, because all of them will be reprinted. All of them will be reprinted. So
yeah, and Annihilation got a tiny print run, like 3,000 copies, which is why this thing.
Really?
Yeah, I remember we on OmniBros one time we looked up. Conquest got something like 12,000, 9,000, or 12,000 copies printed, but Annihilation only had like 3,000 copies printed, and that's why Annihilation went out of print like overnight.
Yeah, we were really hoping for that. Avengers 4, is it the fourth one? Yeah, would be called like Avengers Annihilation, but it was actually Endgame, so we're not getting a reprint with this movie.
I guess not.
But it has to be the next big event for them, right?
I guess so. I don't know anything about making movies, so I know less about what direction Marvel wants to go, depending on how Endgame, who dies and who lives. I guess they could take it cosmic and still have some heroes on Earth, but that's a good question. I don't know.
Mm.
If they do introduce Annihilus as a major character, and this doesn't get reprinted, that would be very odd to me.
There is a good chance they will just do a deluxe edition with the 6 stories.
Oh yeah, that's possible too.
But the thing is, like, it's gonna be so weird because the stories are intertwined with the other tie-ins. They did a very good job with that, by the way. Like, it's the story actually flows. So they kind of separated the main event out. So, or else it would have been kind of weird.
Now, before we sign off, do you want to show that fabulous statue that is right above your knee right there?
I love it so much. Oh my God, look at this. This is the Bombshell, the Catwoman, Batman statue. It's actually going for $250, but I got it for fairly cheaper because after using some Amazon points and everything, I just love it so much. It's just like, it's from the Bombshell series, and just look at them. Like, it's just so cute. And it's like the detailed on it is just perfect. And then they also have this like little tiny key with like and Batman has like, it's like a batarang as its keychain, which is kind of really.
Oh, that's what she's got there.
Yeah, it's a key.
I used to think it was mistletoe or something.
No, it's a key. Like, she just stole his key. So.
Oh.
And heart, like, But,
right. And then that's a very unusual outfit he's got on. That looks like typical Catwoman stuff, but he's got like a steampunk type of outfit on.
From the Bombshell. So in the Bombshell, he's like a private detective. In the Bombshell.
Oh, okay, that's where they're pulling it from.
Like his outfit from there, and this is all set in like 1940s.
Oh, okay.
So it's from that. And then the thing is, like, just look at the her pearl necklace is kind of flowing away and stuff like that. When I saw the pearl necklace, I'm like, she should not be wearing a pearl necklace because that gives this guy a PTSD.
Oh yeah.
Like, I'm like, that's a little bit. Let's not do that. Come on. But I just love it so much. It's one of my so good, so good. But yes, so yeah, it's I don't usually get the Bombshell statues, but this one I had to get it.
Yeah, no, that's a Bombshell I don't have.
Right.
Well,
you want to get like, if you really want it, better get to it fast. I don't know how many of this has been produced, so.
Yeah, that is a cool statue. And then there's that one that Geo posted that I saw with Supergirl and Batgirl together. That really interests me. Bombshell, Supergirl, and Bombshell, Batgirl together in a statue.
Right, but that's like, how much was that?
I don't know.
Okay.
I didn't see what the list price was on it. Probably comparable to what that one is, since it's 2 figures.
Right.
So there you go. That's our talk about Annihilation and Faria's new statue and life in the comic book world on OmniDog's Vault. And do you want to give a plug for your show, Fangirls Assemble?
Right. So last time when we did the show, you and I, there were people who were asking about whether I have a channel. I still don't have a channel, but I do have a show called Fangirls Assemble that takes place in the same channel with Omnibros Live. We do a show every Sunday with my co-hosts Kristen and Maddie, both of whom were on your show as well. And so there's not going to be a show tomorrow. However, on February 10th, we're going to be interviewing Terry Moore, who wrote Rachel Rising, Mortal Girl, Echo, and we're going to be chatting with him. So do tune in for that. And we also have Instagram at Fangirls with a Z, Assemble. where we kind of post our pick of the week and other upcoming announcements and things like that. So do follow us there as well.
Nice. And I also post things on Instagram. I most recently have been posting pictures of my dog typically, but I do post, maybe I should post a link to this in Instagram and to this show. I think I will do that. I'll figure out how to do that. And Ugly McGregor, which is Lewis, is saying sell it, you don't need it, which is he's being sarcastic.
No, and to that point though, I'm actually kind of thinking about it too, that once I am done with it, like kind of figure out whether I'm going to reread it, I might actually sell it. I don't know. So.
And you can find me on OmniDog's_vault on Instagram, and then this channel, of course, on YouTube, OmniDog's Vault. So thank you for tuning in. Please hit the thumbs up button, the like button, if you can. Subscribe if you like. Comment if you like. I always respond to comments. And thank you, Faria, for being on with me. And peace and love. Peace and love.
Bye, everyone.